Vietnam-US set to begin trade agreement negotiations. And later on, European businesses view Vietnam as an attractive destination. Good evening and welcome to today's headlines, your go-to bulletin for the most important stories shaping the day. Let's begin with the latest updates. Vietnamese Deputy Prime Minister, Special Envoy of Party General Secretary Tô Lâm Hồ Đức Phước today met with Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick as part of his ongoing tour to the U.S. He affirmed that Vietnam wishes to promote bilateral economic and trade relations in a balanced, harmonious, and sustainable manner. The Deputy Prime Minister also had many discussions with the U.S. government to reach an agreement that the two countries will negotiate a bilateral trade agreement in which tariffs become the main point of the negotiation. Following the Prime Minister's direction, a Vietnamese negotiation delegation was established today to immediately engage with the U.S. negotiation delegation. European businesses still see Vietnam as a stable and attractive investment destination. This is the assessment made at the launch of the White Book 2025 by the European Chamber of Commerce in Vietnam, EuroCham, this morning. The White Book 2025 gathers practical recommendations on improving the business environment. It also addresses solutions to promote renewable energy, green growth, and the circular economy. EuroCham emphasizes this crucial moment demands bold strategies and long-term vision to navigate global fluctuations, thereby solidifying Vietnam's position as a dynamic and globally competitive investment center. By the end of 2024, Vietnam's micro enterprises held the largest market share at 69%. This figure comprises nearly 700,000 out of 980,000 registered businesses, according to the Vietnam Association of Small and Medium Enterprises. However, only about 30% of these businesses currently gain capital access. This capital thirst hinders the growth of these vital micro enterprises despite their significant market presence.
This ceramics business employs 7 workers and currently produces 5,000 to 6,000 products monthly. To increase output and market competitiveness, the business needs to shift from traditional methods to modern machinery. However, they cannot secure a bank loan due to collateral shortage.
It's tough to put a value on traditional production for a business of this size, which makes it hard for us to get bank loans.
Lack of capital leads to limitations in business management, making micro-enterprises easily affected by economic fluctuations. Experts suggest several solutions to improve their capital access.
Besides banks, micro-enterprises can access capital through relatives, funds, or domestic and international programs supporting startups and innovation.
The government is focusing on the value chain model. This means medium and large enterprises can involve micro-enterprises in their business, allowing micro-enterprises to obtain unsecured loans without collateral.
Experts predict that micro-enterprises will continue to contribute up to 40% of the national GDP in the coming years. With the government determined to cut cumbersome bureaucracy by up to 40% and implement credit policies to boost production, Vietnamese micro-enterprises will have significant opportunities to thrive in the future.
Now, Vietnamese grapefruit has launched sales at Lotte Mart supermarkets in South Korea, a significant milestone in introducing Vietnamese agricultural products to high-end international markets. South Korea ranks as Vietnam's 5th largest fruit export market. Vietnam produces over 12 million tons of fruit annually, with grapefruit making up 10%. After this initial shipment, the Lotte Group plans to assess market response before potentially expanding distribution to more branches based on consumer feedback. Starting July the 1st, employees across the country are expected to receive electronic social insurance books. The new electronic version will mirror the contents of the traditional paper book, including date of birth, gender, nationality, and identification details. It will also contain detailed records of social insurance contributions, such as the payment period, rate, occupational information, and benefit entitlements. Each digital book will be linked to the holder's Level 2 VNEID account. The final deadline for nationwide issuance is set for January 1st of 2026. Coming up next, Vietnamese doctors successfully carried out first ever third-generation partial artificial heart transplant. And what forms art installation. Welcome back to today's headlines. More than 8,000 officers and soldiers from the armed forces participated in joint training at Bien Hoa Airport, Dong Nai Province this morning. The training prepares for the parade celebrating the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and National Reunification Day. 52 military and police parade groups joined the training since early morning, marching across the stage in precise formations with determined steps to dynamic military music. Meanwhile, the Vietnam People's Air Force practices flag-raising formations in the sky. The Su-30 Mk2 fighter squadrons will perform heat trap drops as one of the ceremony highlights. Doctors at the 108 Central Military Hospital have successfully carried out Vietnam's first third-generation partial artificial heart transplant. The patient, a 46-year-old woman, was in critical condition due to prolonged severe heart failure, which has caused serious complications, including cerebral embolism and pleural effusion. To save her life, doctors surgically implanted a third-generation partial artificial heart, a mechanical device designed to assist the failing left side of the heart by pumping blood directly to the aorta. More than 40 artists from the Russian State Ballet will perform the classical ballet masterpiece Swan Lake on April the 11th to the 12th at Ho Gươm Theater in Hanoi. Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake is considered a symbol of classical performing arts, a ballet that has captured generations of audiences around the world. Although the piece has previously been adapted in various styles for Vietnamese stages, this will be the first time local audiences can experience the full original ballet as performed by a lead artist from the Russian State Ballet. Moss can be transformed into unique works of art. Now let's take a look at some lush green moss landscapes brought to life by the hands and imagination of a passionate young artist. For him, the beauty of a moss creation lies in each viewer's personal experience.
Hoàng Tuấn Anh was decorating a rockery with moss patches in his installation artwork titled Pathway. The mosses used in the making were entirely preserved, meaning natural or cultivated moss has undergone various treatment processes to halt cellular growth while retaining the appearance, color, and elasticity of live moss.
In botany, there's a whole field dedicated to mosses. I started learning about it online and saw that around the world, people were creating amazing art from moss. I was drawn to the shapes and forms of those works.
Tuấn Anh is considered one of the pioneers of moss art in Vietnam. Although the moss-growing hobby has existed in Vietnam for over a decade, mostly in bonsai displays, aquascapes, or miniature rockeries, moss art is still a relatively new concept. It is now gaining attention thanks to passionate artists like Tuấn Anh.
I halt the growth of moss cells while keeping their original beauty intact. That way, I preserve both the appearance and the core value of the plant. Preserved moss can be used to make art and decorative items.
Preserved moss artworks are ideal for people who love greenery but don't have the time to care for live plants, or for anyone who simply wants a unique botanical piece to display in their home. These artworks can last from 5 years to several decades.
And as usual, let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's the end of today's headlines. To watch our program, you can download VTVgo on our mobile application or visit our YouTube channel at VTV4Go. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.